We're going live. We are live here at 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. It's about 6:56 a.m. So we're getting closer back to the 5 a.m. getting up early time period that we usually do so we get more stuff done and be more productive during the day. Anyway, I'm Greg Mester, Scrum Master, and as a coach, I hope you're doing well today or this morning or anytime you watch this episode. And we talk about Scrum and Agile in a practical and tactical way. So we bring value to the customer, not work 60, 80 hours a week to get there, and get you home to family and friends so you can have some fun at home and at work, right? So why we do this, why we do the show, we share those ideas, some thoughts as we go through it, and we'll do more as time goes, right? We learn more as we go. We learn as we experiment and see what works and doesn't work. So yesterday, SpaceX flew their Starship, right? It's pretty cool. I put this broken thing because in the end it blew up, right? You should really watch the video. I'll probably put links on my own LinkedIn site, and I know I've liked it. I put on Facebook too and Twitter, and because they're going to put a compilation of videos from yesterday. But what I want to talk about, a great demo and a great fail. The best demos I have ever worked on always had a great failure. Why? Because and of course they learn stuff from it, right? So yesterday, SpaceX, they flew the rocket up, the spaceship, I should say, spaceship. Flew the spaceship up, cut off the engines, and then came back down, glided back to the pad, and at the very end, did the belly flop and tried to land vertical, right? It was a wonderful thing to watch. I mean, they done it. I mean, just think about it. The last thing they tried was they just flew a grain silo. Now they're flying a ship that actually flew and landed and coasted back and exploded, according to Eddie, or is Elizabeth, who knows, Liz or Eddie, exploded. So what was so great about it, right? The demo, one, it showed that they can get all three rocket engines working together. They showed that they can get the height they wanted. They showed, and I don't know if they did it on purpose. Now, see, you don't know about all these details. What I also think is amazing, could you imagine doing that's Mr. Eddie. It's our guest host who's hiding in the background, commenting on the screen. But can you imagine? They had over 250, 250,000 watchers on their YouTube channel yesterday at SpaceX, plus hundreds of thousands of people watching on all these other feeds that people are independently doing. So, I mean, they're easily 500,000 people. So can you imagine putting something together and doing a review and a demo and having over 500,000 stakeholders watch what you're doing, everything you're doing, and being brave enough to do that? I mean, really? So they got a lot of guts, man, and I appreciate what they're doing. They're showing the world, they're experimenting, and as they're doing, I'm just kind of going to different things they learned, or I learned. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but I saw them shut off an engine, so they were going on two engines, so they validated how well the aircraft could operate with two engines. Then they went down to one engine and validated how well it could operate with one engine, how safe, how uniform it could run. So people probably think, oh, the engine out. I hope they purposely turned them off, right? And do that. And then they coasted down, and you see the flaps operate. They did that, and they used the jets to orient the vehicle in such a way that it would have fallen in the correct direction. But then at the end, I didn't know they talked about doing the flop, and everybody wondered if they were going to do it, and they did it. They kind of kicked it up, but they didn't do it soon enough, I guess, or some of the engines or some things failed. I don't know. I think the engines failed. They said there was not enough pressure with the jet fuel to power the engines, maybe. But then they learned a lot of things back there. So that was a great failure. So they got it, and down the end they were just going too fast, and it just disintegrated into the ground. But the wild thing is that their landing pad's still intact. There wasn't a giant crater I mean, everybody thought there'd be a giant crater underneath that landing pad, but it looked like the landing pad was fine. I don't know if there's any holes in there. We're going to find, I guess we'll find out when they remove what's left of the other rocket ship, but it was a controlled, purposeful, right into the spot. I think everybody was shocked to actually try to land the thing. It's like, don't let it ever come down. But what was the failure? What did I learn in the failure? What I learned in the failure is that, one, they need to start the engines a little bit earlier and slow it down to a more gentle landing, because there's no way those legs would have took that rough landing if they didn't start the engines earlier. So, there's all kinds of things like that. And the orientation, they're going to need more time because it was swinging out, and they're going to need more time to adjust for perfectly vertical landing. But those are things you learn by doing, not by figuring out on a piece of paper. So those are the kind of things that great demo of all the capabilities and demonstrating different aspects of what they wanted to do that worked, and the great failure, because what would really suck if they succeeded, but they didn't know what the margin of error was, right? They didn't push the envelope. This is what so many teams don't do. They don't push the envelope. They don't push their skill set to the next level. They never really find out how far they can go. And when they did what they did, no one's done that. I don't know if anybody's done a belly flop at a Starship before, but they pushed it to a point where it failed, and they have a good idea where the failure points are, right? It's okay to do that. They got another Starship waiting to go next. So I think they're going to adjust their thoughts and processes and say, okay, launch another one. Let's see what we get. We get the same results, and this time we land. What I'll feel better for them is they'll know where the failure point is on the landing, and then now they can adjust back from that. What do they need? What are the things they saw? What do they need to do? I mean, it was amazing. Anyway, that's what I got for today. So, doing a demo, don't be afraid to demonstrate the vehicle in front of hundreds of thousands of people, right? You'll get your feedback. Learn everything you can from doing the demonstration. And I'll even add to the point, I like the idea of giving my product owner, a lot of teams don't do, they don't like, we don't want the customer or the customer, the keys to the demonstration, to the review. Let them operate it, because you know what? You're going to see so much more by the user using your whatever you build or product you're coming out with, the change you are, than you will when you run it ever. So just give it to them. You'll learn all the things that you never could imagine what they would do with your product. I just encourage everybody to do it. Every time I've done it, the results are amazing, right? Every time I've done that, where we gave the keys to the product owner, the customer, and during the review had them do the demonstration in the review, we learned all our failure points, all the things we never knew would fail. Gained a lot at the best times. Anyway, hey, it's Thursday. Happy Scrumming. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the show, and share with your friends and family and coworkers. Ring the little bell if you like it. You want to make sure you get when we go live, and we're getting closer and closer to the 5 a.m. hour, which means we're going to have less viewers because most people aren't up, and the YouTube algorithm is kind of screwy that way. But we'll share it and keep trying to make the product a little better. All right, you all take care. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Fortune Cookie Friday. And we'll see if we get up to 5 a.m. Working on it, getting closer, back to normal. All right, take care. Bye. See ya.